Let's talk street photography. I absolutely love street photography. It is one of my favorite genres to shoot, and it is also a genre of photography that I think literally everyone should at least try out. If you're new to the channel, my name is Daniel. I'm a creative based in Thailand, and we're going to talk about why I think street photography is something that pretty much anyone should do or get into at the very least. For those of you who don't know what street photography is, it's basically the act of going out on the street and photographing kind of everyday life. So now let's talk about why street photography is something you should be doing. The first reason is developing your skills. Because of the nature of street photography, you only really have control over three things: the time that you go out to shoot, the camera you're using and the settings, and then you as an individual, where you're standing, where you move, the angles you take, and all that. And it's because of these limitations that you're actually going to really develop your skills. If you're shooting at sunset, the light is only going to be coming from one side, one angle. It's going to be super biased, so you're going to have to figure out how to position yourself and where to look for subjects that look appealing and nice in that lighting. The same could be said when you're shooting midday and the light is just beaming down from on top. You're going to get really harsh lighting, so you're going to have to figure out, okay, what photos look good in this type of lighting, what photos look good in this type of lighting, where do I position myself? You're also going to be forced to think creatively and quickly, because time doesn't slow down for anyone. So you're going to have to be quick, and you're going to have to think quick and keep an eye out for interesting things. If someone's crossing the street and the light is hitting them just right, you're going to have to be quick and notice that. And on the creativity side of things, I always find myself trying to use the surroundings that I have to try come up with some interesting angles, or maybe some interesting foreground objects. Maybe I'm shooting through a car window, through a shop door entryway, and I find that it really helps me with my creativity and coming up with new interesting concepts for future shoots. And it's because of those things that you're also going to be forced to be very quick and efficient with your camera. Whenever there's someone who isn't really familiar with their camera and they want to learn how to use it better, I always suggest street photography, because they've really got to learn how to quickly and efficiently change the buttons, quickly change the shutter speed, ISO, aperture. You also may find that you want to change the certain button layouts of your camera if it allows it to make things more efficient. For example, on my Sony A7IV, pretty much none of the buttons are doing what they're supposed to do. I've completely customized the whole thing to make it efficient for me and what works well for me. Using your camera more and getting familiar with it is just going to make you a better photographer, because you're going to be quicker and much more efficient. The second point is the randomness. And what I mean by this randomness is you could go to the same spot in the same city at the same time of day, and there's always going to be different people and different things happening. So you're going to have a huge variety and of things you can shoot, and pretty much no photo is going to be the same. And this is great because you can visit the same location multiple times and always capture something different and not feel bored of it. And this is a problem that I have when it comes to my car photography and motorcycle photography. We are a little bit limited here in Chiang Mai by the physical locations when it comes to shooting cars and motorcycles. So I kind of get bored of shooting at the same locations. But when I'm shooting street photography, I can always go to the same part of town and never ever be bored and never ever have nothing to shoot. It's always random, it's always different, and this is great. It's always exciting to go to a location and have no idea who's going to be there, what's going to be there, what's happening, and it's always just unknown what kind of photos I'm going to get. And finally, locations. Street photography is also great for locations. Whenever I'm out shooting and I find something interesting, maybe it's a building, a specific shop, cafe, or a very nice road, something that would work well for my other photo shoots, then I always note it down and save it for later. And once you build a big enough list, then it's going to be super helpful for you in the future when you're going to do some other photo shoots or even client work, because you've already got a huge list of potential places, and it saves you the headache of location scouting, because you already know pretty much everywhere there is to shoot and what looks good and what doesn't look good. And one bonus thing, it's also very cheap and practically free. You just gotta pay for your time and gas to go there. Other places, for example, if you want to shoot in a studio, you've got to pay for the lighting, renting the space, probably a model as well. But when it comes to street photography, everything is pretty much free, so that's nice as well. Let me know what you like about street photography down below. If you found this video helpful at all, then please, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. And check out my Lightroom presets in the description, and I'll see you guys around.